What's up, brochachos? It's your boy Tanner Wyman of BarbarianBody. Today I've got for you 3 killer, dumbbell only exercises to build some bigger and better shoulders, put some mass on those, and help you to develop some boulders. Let's get straight into this thing. Now, one of the best tactics that you can deploy when you're trying to target the shoulders is to use a high volume repetitions, increase the time under tension. For all of these exercises I'm doing here, I'd recommend sets of about 15 to 20 repetitions, increasing the time under tension, so I'm doing slow eccentrics and I'm really getting a nice squeeze at the top of the motion with the portion of the shoulder that I am trying to target. Now, when most people just begin doing the side lateral raises, they look like this, okay? There's a couple things wrong with this. Your arms are completely straight. This puts a lot of load on the shoulder joint there while you're doing the motion. You want to have a slight bend in those. Now, thing number 2, most guys are coming up all the way over here. As soon as you're up in this position here, there's a lot of load that's taken off of your shoulders. As opposed to if you keep your arms from going just to about parallel, this will constantly keep the tension on the shoulders the entire time. Now, the next thing too, when people are doing this exercise, they're trying to target, like I said, that lateral head right there in the middle. But what a lot of guys start to do is they start to have either their pinkies go up, which is now targeting the rear head of my deltoids, or they end up doing something where their thumbs come up. And when I'm doing this, now I'm targeting more of my anterior head of my deltoid, right? The front end. So one of the most important things that you need to do here is keep those palms facing down. Don't let those arms go up parallel, and keep those elbows softly bent. When I focus on leading with my elbows there, on each and every single repetition, it actually allows me to get a lot more mind-muscle connection with the lateral head of my deltoid. As opposed to when people start to try and just, they're focusing on lifting, getting the hand up to that position right there. But when you think about elbows, it just activates the mind-muscle connection on the lateral head of the deltoid. All right, the next exercise is gonna be targeting that anterior head of the deltoid, that front portion of the deltoid. And this is a seated incline dumbbell front raise. Now, the reason this exercise is so good is because of the stretch. Because my arm is now positioned behind my back. Whereas if you were doing it from a standing position, your arm is in this position right here. You can't really bring your arm back there to get that stretch the same way that you could by just being on the bench like this. So when you're coming down, that eccentric portion is really going to be having a lot of focus because of how far you're able to stretch that muscle out, which is tremendous for building muscle. So how I'm performing this is, I got a nice soft bend in the elbow. I'm lifting those weights up, getting them up to about parallel, and then bringing them back down. Letting my arms get a nice stretch at the bottom, and then coming right back up. Now you'll notice, I'm not allowing momentum to play a role in this. When most guys do this, they're just gonna be swinging it up, and then swing. Rather, what I'm doing is I'm bringing it up in a nice slow and controlled manner, and focusing on increasing that time under tension for the anterior head of my deltoid. So I'm trying to maximize that as much as possible by really squeezing and holding at the top, and then bringing the weight down in a nice and slow and controlled manner. Focusing on getting that nice stretch when the arms come back there. Now, to finish things up and hit that rear head of the deltoid, an area that is very, very neglected in most guys' shoulders and can cause injuries, so you don't want to ignore it, I like to be doing some seated, bent over reverse flies. Now, the way that most guys perform this is with a neutral grip. Now, it is kind of okay because when you're bent down over here and you're getting that fly, you are getting most of the targeting on that posterior head of the deltoid. But because your palms are facing down in that neutral position up here, you're also going to be targeting a little bit of that medial head. We've already taken care of it, and I want this to isolate that rear head of the deltoid more than ever. So what I do instead is I grab from a pronated grip, palms facing down. So you're bringing those arms right underneath your feet. My stomach is pressed into my legs here, my head's in a neutral plane, and I'm lifting up here. With the palms facing down, pronated grip, I'm able to get more contraction out of that rear head of the deltoid and remove a lot of the role that that medial head is going to be able to play. Now, another thing that a lot of people do when they're doing this exercise is they'll start to squeeze their shoulder blades up together and retract with their rhomboids and their middle and lower traps when they're doing the motion. What this is going to do is it's going to take a lot of the targeting off of that rear head of the deltoid. As opposed to if you keep your shoulder blades from squeezing and flexing together and you focus on entirely doing this by just lifting the arms. This is going to allow you to get a ton more targeting from the posterior head of the deltoid. Now, as always, when I'm performing this exercise, the same way with all of my other shoulder exercises, I'm really striving to get a large time under tension. High volume of repetitions, slow and controlled repetitions, as slow as you possibly can. When it's your last exercise, it's going to be a little bit more of a struggle, which I am demonstrating there a little bit too, but you still want to do your best to have it slow and under control. At the top, get a nice squeeze, focusing on that posterior head of the deltoid. If you have a training partner, here's a pro tip. Have them poke on that area, the posterior head of the deltoid, while you're performing the motion. I saw Kai Green do this when he was doing one of his training with Kai videos. And he would poke on all the muscles that he was trying to get the guys to feel while he was training them. I applied it with a training partner of mine years ago. And the amount of mind-muscle connection you're able to develop and the ability to just contract the muscle that you are trying to work on is absolutely incredible. So that's especially one of the exercises and muscle groups that you want to have the ability to really get that mind-muscle connection into, so that you don't incorporate other muscle groups to help you lift the weight. So there you guys go. 3 killer dumbbell only shoulder exercise that you guys can do to really put on some mass onto all 3 heads, the anterior head, the medial head, and then finally that posterior head of the deltoid. Remember, using high repetitions, high number of repetitions, high amount of volume, so you're increasing the time under tension so that you can get the most out of the shoulders, hitting them from every conceivable angle, and that's the trick, and that's the secret to getting some bigger shoulders, especially with just using a pair of dumbbells. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, then be sure to give your boy a like down below, and also be sure to subscribe for weekly workout tips and nutrition tips that you will not want to miss. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. I'll see you in the next video.